I'm pleased to welcome Irene Macmillan and Gordon Macmillan with the juniorgolfer.com. I can't recommend their website enough. It's a place where you can get the best junior golf advice. They have so much helpful articles, anything from instruction to getting your junior started, to equipment, to rules of golf, to college recruiting. So many helpful articles that you can learn and get your junior the advice that they need on their next step of their journey. So we're glad to have you guys. Thank you for your partnership with Georgia Golf Performance and all you guys do for us. And so Gordon and Irene Macmillan, they have two boys, both play college golf. Connor Macmillan plays for Georgia State University, and then Robbie Macmillan plays for Reinhardt University. And so they've gone through the junior golf development phase all the way into college golf, and so they know a lot about it. And yeah, we're just thankful to have you guys here and tell us a little bit about how you got started with the juniorgolfer.com.
Well, thank you, Bill, and thank you, GGP. We've been involved with the program for quite a long time now, a number of years, and just super impressed. It helps a lot of kids in our neighborhood, and our boys being, part of that group. So thank you, Bill.
Yes, absolutely.
The juniorgolfer.com, it got started in 2017. However, our interest and our love for junior golf started a lot earlier than that. Our son Connor Macmillan started playing US Kids tournaments when he was around 6 years old, although he did start whacking balls around long before that. When he was, just barely walking, he was wandering around the house with bats and balls and chipping practice balls over the fence outside. He also loved, the driving range, so we take him there a lot. But we moved to Georgia in 2009, and when Connor started kindergarten, and we started him in US Kids tournaments, and then he played US Kids, he played regional tournaments, he played the US Kids World Championships over the years. Then as he got older, he did a lot of Georgia PGA Junior, GSGA, Southeastern, AJGA tournaments. He also qualified for the US Senior US Senior Championships, listen to me, the US Junior Championships, when he was a senior in high school. So we have been involved in a lot of aspects of junior golf for very many years. I actually helped out with US Kids tournaments from time to time. I ran a few of them when the director was not available. I also coached high school golf for a few years. So, we have a large amount of experience in the game. We've written a few ebooks about how to get your kids involved in golf, how to be a great caddy for your junior golfer, that sort of thing. So I think that the junior golfer really grew out of our enjoyment of the sport and our experience with our own boys in navigating the journey.
Yeah, I would say from a practical perspective, the junior golfer website started as a bit of a passion project, looking for when we were looking for kind of practical, reliable information around junior golf, and couldn't really find it in one spot. And we thought, well, we know a lot about equipment and the at that stage, the younger side of junior golf, how to get kids into golf and so on. So started the website at that stage, and then it's just grown along the way as the boys have progressed through their high school and now into college golf. So
Awesome. Yeah, well, navigating this journey can be difficult. So what's some helpful tips? I know you got a lot of tips on their website that you can check out, but what are some helpful tips that you can help parents navigate through this journey?
Okay, so tips, we have a lot of them. I guess from a parent perspective, the most important thing for me is, as a parent in junior golf, one gets so caught up in the highs and the lows of the sport. Your kid goes out and wins a tournament or shoots a great score, and everything is rosy and merry and happy, and then the next time they go out and they play really badly, or they have horrible attitude out there on the course, and it just puts a whole damper on the day. That's a complete miserable day. And so I think as a parent, we need to try and very much to detach from the outcome.
That's good.
And that took me a lot of time. It's so easy to say, oh, detach from the outcome. But it's a lot of self-exploration and self-understanding in order to get there. You know, you have to realize your kid is out there by themselves. They are in control. And as much as we need to relinquish control, we really do. They are in control. All we really have to be is endlessly supportive. But if they go out there and they play badly, they're not doing it on purpose. You know, golf is a very difficult game, and tomorrow is always another day.
Yeah, and I would add, again, from a practical perspective, I think making sure that your child's character is not all about their golf game and their golf
That's
scores. Get involved with other school activities, whether it's clubs at the school, play other sports, preferably team sports. That's great for making sure they're getting out and developing those relationships and having interests outside of just golf. I would say one of the most difficult things about being a parent of a junior golfer who is playing golf tournaments is caddying for them. It's very difficult to disassociate yourself from being a parent and becoming a caddy, where the player is always right and the caddy's not always right. And so that is definitely a learned skill. One little piece of advice which we found, which worked very well with my older son Connor over the years, is to have somebody from your local club, a good golfer, who can caddy for them in tournaments, and then once they're in high school and playing tournaments like hopefully the state amateur tournament and other larger tournaments that allow caddies, have their friends caddy for them. So we found that works really well, and definitely something which helps get parents out of that immediate reaction to a bad golf shot.
Yes.
Yeah, even like Connor's brother, Robbie, caddied for him in both the Georgia Am and the Georgia Open, you know, this past summer, which took the pressure off Gordon to do that.
Yeah.
But it was good for them.
And then the last thing I'll add on this is that I think it's also really important from a parent's perspective to build relationships with coaches, with other parents, other parents of golf, of golfing kids. I think that just really helps along the way with the journey.
Excellent. Now, how much did you push your boys, or was it their just love for the game that was motivating to them?
Well, Bill, that is a difficult question to answer with, 100% certainty, one side or the other. I think from our point of view, when you have a child that's childhood is very, very heavily invested in the game of golf, there's going to be ebbs and flows in motivation from both the child and the parent over the many years. But one thing that I can say very clearly is that we gave our children so much opportunity in golf, maximum opportunity, especially Connor. Extensive tournament play, coaching every week. We really did put a lot of emphasis on helping Connor. And the reason, I think, was because he had this very natural talent for the sport, and he got a lot of joy out of it. It's very much who he is, a golfer. So we, as parents, we nurtured the talent, which is, I think, an important thing to do. But let me make it very clear that if Connor had come to us at any point during all these years and at any point going forward and says to us, I don't want to do this anymore, 100% would respect it.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's important to distinguish between creating opportunities and making it a fun environment versus pushing a child into golf and into tournaments and being very results focused, if you will. Certainly when the boys were younger, we, and even through high school, I guess, we tried to find a lot of fun ways to be around the game of golf.
Love that.
Whether it's going on vacation and playing a nice course on vacation somewhere, still playing putt-putt, and just doing fun things around golf as opposed to really pushing them to practice 4 hours a day or something. That said, there are definitely, because they're kids, there's definitely times when you have to remind them about a commitment to practicing, or a commitment to being prepared for a tournament, or if a coach has asked them to practice something, a commitment to go and practice that. And so there is definitely a balance, but the harder you push, the more you're going to get pushed back. And so just have to keep that balance in mind.
That's helpful. Now, if you had to do it all over again, anything you would do different?
With the boys, there is nothing I would do differently. I would still have them out playing tournaments as early as possible. I would still have them getting coached every week or as many times as possible with a regular coach. I would have them enrolled in an academy like GGP, playing with their friends. I would have them playing high school golf. I would have them playing tournaments. I wouldn't change anything in our trajectory with our boys. That I would hope that I would have learned earlier on as a parent not to be too fixated on the score, because honestly, it really doesn't matter and it's really not up to me. So that's what I would hope to have changed in myself.
Okay.
My own
That's good.
mental abilities. But the way we have approached junior golf, I wouldn't change anything from my perspective.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think with hindsight, and obviously it's a lot easier with hindsight, but I would hope to be less stressed about the golf, especially when they're younger. Scores really don't matter until they're 12.
Okay.
And so, and sometimes even after that, they don't matter. And so I would try to disassociate myself from a bad score or a bad round or a miscut is not the end of the world, especially when they're younger. And so kind of trying to keep that a little more in perspective. Yeah.
That's good. So it's so much pressure to want to be a top junior golfer. How do you help navigate the parents and the juniors through that?
Well, I think it kind of depends on the age of the child that we're looking at. So if the child is under 12, I would say to the parents, just let them play. Like, let them play. Don't even plant the seed in their head, oh, college golf, that would be a wonderful thing to aim for. It doesn't matter. If you're under the age of 12, just go and play. I would encourage all parents to, enroll their children in an academy like Georgia Golf Performance, something that has a systematic and proven means of advancing a junior golfer. You guys adhere to tournament plays, you check them by results, you're out there with the TrackMan, you're doing everything possible to advance them in their play, in a group setting and individually. I would definitely say as they're getting older, that's very important. Probably one of the most important things is tournament play. Tournament play will improve your child's game above anything else, really. And go out there, let them play tournaments. US Kids is a great foundation. As they get a little bit more older and they really are into it, so teenagers, that are really into golf, that show some ability. They need to be starting to play multi-day tournaments. They need to try and get a ranking. They need to understand the junior golf scoreboard. They need to get a handicap. So from a parent's point of view, at this point, you are facilitators for your child. You will facilitate coaching opportunities. You will facilitate tournament schedules. You need to go and look at the tournaments, what's available in your area, what would be good for them to play given their ability and their age. What clubs are they playing with? Are they playing with the right clubs? Have they been fitted? You know, that sort of thing. As parents, you just need to be on top of that. You need to be on top of, are they eating well? Are they going to the gym? Are they following some sort of practice routine? You know, we need to just be involved, but not, you know, immersed.
That's good.
Really. And then as they get into high school, if they're showing a lot of ability, if they want to play college golf, that's a whole new ball game in itself. You need to be understanding the process and the calendar and getting them ready to, you know, start approaching coaches.
Yeah, I think it's really helping out with the process and the opportunity and providing the guidance, and then letting them go out and do their thing. We certainly as adults we can be more organized and we can have the resources and we can find out the information and help them along the way. But ultimately it's about encouraging and making sure that they're following the process and really celebrating the process as opposed to the outcomes.
That's great. This has been super helpful. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your partnership. And go to their website, juniorgolfer.com. Plenty of articles, just a very helpful information so you don't miss anything along the way. And so we appreciate you guys and look forward to talking to you guys again soon.
Thank you so
Great.
much, Bill.
Thanks, Bill.
Yep.